Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. I am back for another video and we're back to talking about PlayStation, and this time it has to do with this boycott, or it's not really a boycott, it's just a blackout. So PlayStation fans are basically calling on other PlayStation fans to participate in this 1 week blackout to try to, in hopes of basically intimidating and scaring PlayStation into reversing course on this all digital future that they're going into. So for those who don't know, PlayStation has announced that they will be going all digital by the year of 2028. That means there will be no more physical media, no more discs, nothing like that. It's just going to be all digital. Every game you purchase will just be digital only, and that's it. And this has caused a huge outrage all over the internet, and an even bigger outrage than Mario Kart World being $80. And what's funny is my most watched video that I uploaded 1 week ago, it's got 12,000 views now. It's called PlayStation Fans Are Buying the Nintendo Switch 2. My most watched video, and if you go look at the comments, hundreds and hundreds of former PlayStation fans talking about how they went out and bought a Nintendo Switch 2. So there's PlayStation fans who are no longer PlayStation fans. They just moved on. They sold their PS5 and they got a Switch 2 now. But the ones that are still clinging on and hoping that PlayStation will reverse course, they are trying to do this blackout in order to hopefully scare PlayStation into reversing course. So let's just read this real quick. So yeah, Sony's physical media backlash escalates as fans plan PS5 blackout. Then we go right here. It says, the backlash against Sony's physical media plans is entering a new phase. Rather than limiting their frustration to social media, some PlayStation fans are calling for a coordinated week-long PS blackout, encouraging players to participate from August 23 to August 30, in the hope that a visible drop in player activity will highlight growing concerns over the future of physical game ownership. Okay, well, let me just say this. This bullshit is not going to work whatsoever. This is not going to do a damn thing. It's not going to work. This ain't going to scare PlayStation into reversing course. First of all, why is it only 1 week? That's it? Just 1 week? You're unable to go more than a week without playing video games? Come on. Like, you know, if you really want to send a message to PlayStation, it's got to be much longer. In fact, if you truly want to send a message, it should be indefinite. Why are you putting a time limit? Why are you putting like an end day? Okay, it's going to be from August 23rd to August 30th. It kind of shows just how dumb most PlayStation fans are, especially the most diehard of them. They really think that this is going to work or this is going to do anything. That's not going to work. If you truly want to boycott PlayStation right now, sell your PlayStation 5, cancel your PlayStation Network, sell all of your games, accessories, and buy a Nintendo Switch 2 instead. There you go. That is the way to send a strong message to PlayStation. When they see less people buying their games, leaving their PlayStation Network, and then they see the sales of the Nintendo Switch 2 or Switch going up really high, that kind of sends them the message. But I want to this is on Reddit right now, so let's check out some comments here because I'm curious to see what people had to say about all this. This person says 3 months later, GTA 6 sells 25 million copies on PlayStation 5 in 1 week. So I guess what he's trying to say is, yeah, these people are acting like this is going to do anything, but you know, a few months later, GTA 6 is going to sell a huge amount of copies on PlayStation 5, and so therefore it's not even going to really matter, right? Don't even have to wait that long. When Black Ops 1 and 2 dropped digital only, they were the number 1 and 2 downloaded games. Okay, so I guess Black Ops 1 and 2 dropped recently, or is he kind of just making up a scenario of what's going to happen? I haven't been keeping up with the Call of Duty stuff, so I don't know. But if that's what happened, then yeah, I mean, if Black Ops 1 and 2, digital only, you know, pretty much sold the most copies or whatever on PlayStation, then yeah, it really don't matter. This person says, yep, they know what little sales are lost are worth it. They can also just work with publishers to up the cost of standard edition to $90 to make up for it. What is this person saying? The countless gaming is so back posts with the cover art of Wolverine, Control, GTA, and Phantom Play Zero with 2K upvotes, with 2,000 votes. Okay. Remember when Reddit Blackout brought about a full and lasting change on Reddit? I'm not sure if he's being sarcastic or if that really happened. And now this is funny right here. Announcing the end date before it even began was fucking hysterical. Yeah, that's the most hysterical part right there. Is, I mean, if you're gonna try to do a blackout, why are you announcing the end date of the blackout? Say we're starting this date, blackout. Period. Don't play your PlayStation. Don't do anything. Blackout until something happens. Until say something. It should be indefinite. Not, oh, it's just gonna be 1 week. Right, here's the end date. Like that's gonna really do anything? It's like they know they will cave. Yeah, I think that's what's going on. Yeah, I do think PlayStation fans know they're going to cave in and they're just going to go back to playing it after a week, even though there's really nothing to play. Imagine if the EU was like, damn, what Russia is doing to Ukraine is crazy. We don't support that. Let's sanction it for a week. That will show them. That's funny because that did happen. The whole world pretty much did that to Russia and didn't change a damn thing. It's going to look exactly like that old Steam group screenshot of the Modern Warfare 2 boycott where half the members are currently in game playing Modern Warfare 2. Don't remember too much about that, but maybe I'm just a little too realistic, but I really doubt 1 week of a little dip in player activity is going to change a multi-billion-dollar company's mind. Yeah, it's stupid. Just 1 week and they see a big dip in player activity. I mean, that would have probably worked if it had happened after the announcement, like immediately after the announcement. But no, here's just a random week, weeks after they had announced that, and you think that's going to really do anything. It's not going to do shit. Again, if you truly want to boycott PlayStation right now, you have to just, let go of your pride, realize that PlayStation sucks, and just go buy a Switch 2. And you have to actually sell your PlayStation 5 as well, cancel your PlayStation Network. That's what's really gonna send a message, because now you're no longer giving them any money. You're no longer a part of their ecosystem. You sell your PS5, that means you're not going to be buying any games from them anytime soon. And if you're buying a Nintendo Switch 2 and you're buying all the games for that system, they're going to see that. I mean, they're going to see all these people buying Switch 2, buying games for that system. Meanwhile, they're noticing that PlayStation Network subscribers have went down dramatically. That's how you send a message, not, well, for 1 week, we're just not going to turn on our PS5. Like, that's not going to do anything. They ain't going to do shit. Yeah, this is especially when the dip is so small, it's barely even measurable. Or, this person says, or if those who take part in the blackout end up making up for it the next week in new purchases, MTX, effectively negating their boycott. I think that's most likely what will happen. Now, what is there to even purchase on a PS5? I don't know. But, yeah, this whole, doing it for 1 week is just kind of stupid. It's like a New Year's resolution, like, oh, yeah, it's New Year. Gonna get in shape, gonna lose weight, get stronger, and you only work out for like 1 week, and then you wait for the next year to come. Sadly, I suspect it'll backfire and give Sony some extra data to point at to justify their decision. If the protest doesn't pull big numbers, the organizers have effectively worked against their own cause by highlighting how few people care strongly enough to even stop gaming for a week. And this is gamers historically not the most strong-willed as soon as something they want to play comes around. Very good point that this guy brings up, this obvious end guy. Gamers are extremely weak-willed. Like they're not strong-willed at all. They cave into everything. They'll buy a stupid game. It kind of reminds me of that idiot Rob from Rule of Two Review. I remember many years ago, I think this was during the Wii U, where I think it was EA. Yeah, it was EA coming out with Star Wars Battlefront 2. And it was a piece of shit compared to the first Battlefront game because they pretty much were giving you less. You were getting less maps, less weapons, characters, whatever, right? And so everybody knew that eventually they were going to just sell you all that shit through the form of DLC. And Rob made a video about it, complaining and saying, I still want to get the game to support the game, but I'm not going to buy the DLC, or I'm not getting the DLC. I'm going or something like that's kind of what they did. They were basically trying to give you an incomplete game, sell you it at full price, but then offer you DLC to buy the rest of it. And Rob was like, well, I still want to buy it because he's one of these huge Star Wars fangirls or whatever. He's huge. He's big on Metroid. He's big on Star Wars. And instead of just, being strong and saying, I'm not buying that crap at all. I mean, the game, it's going to be far less maps, far less, content than the first game. He's like, I'm still going to buy the game, but I'm not going to purchase the DLC. I'm not going to purchase. It's like, and I remember people in the comment section like, dude, you're weak. You are so fucking weak. Like, you're still going to go out and buy that fucking incomplete game, you fucking idiot. So, and I think he did too. I can't remember if he did, but I think he did. Stupid guy. He's a very stupid person. So, he's a perfect example of just these gamers who are just weak. They don't have a strong will whatsoever, and they're just willing to cave in for any game. And I think that's what's going to happen here. And hey, you know what? Look at all the people pre-ordering Grand Theft Auto 6, despite the fact that it's just a code in a box. So you had all these idiots on the internet crying about game key cards when it came to Nintendo. These third-party games are on a game key card. But Rockstar announces that they're just giving you a damn code in the box. That's it. You're just getting a fucking code in the box. You're not getting a physical disc. You're just getting a code in the box. And look how many idiots are pre-ordering that bullshit. We still haven't seen gameplay of that game, by the way. We don't know how well it's going to run. We don't know if it's even going to be mostly gameplay, if it's going to be like cutscenes and cinematic. It's going to just be walking to the next scene, We don't know what it's going to be like. But idiots just went ahead and decided to pre-order that game. It's like, y'all are fucking stupid. Just because you love GTA 5 so much, you automatically assume GTA 6 is going to be even better. Well, that's just how pathetic gamers are. I can't stand gamers, really. I cannot stand them. There's so many other great games to play. Like, there's no reason to be that way for one game. Alright, my primary issue with boycotts that have an end date, if you want to actually have an impact, it needs to be an indefinite period of time. Yeah, exactly what I was saying. Yeah, it's like boycotts with an end date is just so stupid. Like, it's almost like, oh, hey, for 1 week, we're not going to play PlayStation. All right, just you watch, and then what? Then you'll come back and start playing. You're playing again a week later, and then what? Then you're going to be like, oh, y'all haven't said anything. Y'all didn't, you guys hadn't said whether you're going to reverse course or not. So, well, we're going to do it again another week. It's stupid. It's just do it indefinitely. You do it indefinitely. You say, hey, let's just stop playing our PlayStation indefinitely, okay, guys? Let's just do that. And again, let me just reiterate myself. The best way to boycott PlayStation is just to not buy them anymore. Sell your PS5, cancel your network, and just get a Switch 2. That's going to be your best way of sending a message. But, if you do that, you're probably never going to go back to PlayStation, even if they do decide to reverse course, because you're going to realize how awesome Nintendo is. Just look at the hundreds of comments in my video about PlayStation fans buying the Switch 2. So many of them like, wow, I'm really enjoying this console. So much more fun than the PS5. PS5 was a disappointment. It was boring. I've been with PlayStation since the PlayStation 3, the PlayStation 2, 1, whatever. And they're all telling me how much they're enjoying Nintendo right now. So you're better off just doing that, okay? Don't expect PlayStation to ever be fun again. This guy, White Shark, says, LOL, check out this quote from the article. I'm going to be honest with you. I won't be taking part in the blackout. I've got work to do, and while I'll always hold PlayStation to the highest standards possible, I don't particularly agree with everything being written here. Okay. I will always hold them to a high standard, but I don't agree with this, 1 week blackout. Again, it shows how weak some people are. Honestly, I'll probably participate by accident. Nothing on PS5 I need to play for the foreseeable future. That's kind of funny because that's actually true, It's like, yeah, I'm going to participate because there's nothing to play anyways, I'm like, yeah, that's a very good point right there. People are too weak-willed. I wasn't happy with Sony, so I moved to PC. Stop spending your money there if you really care. Well, don't move to PC, move to the Switch instead. Switch 2 is a way better ecosystem. You won't find any Nintendo games on the PC. Let's see. Same, I only bought PlayStation because of disc. They got rid of my only incentive to stay with. If we're going digital only, might as well go to PC where you have a 2-hour refund window. Again, don't go to PC, go to the Switch 2 instead. Go to Nintendo. Because that's direct competition of PlayStation right now is Nintendo. It's not PC gaming. And it's a better ecosystem than PC. That'll be worth as much as it was when Redditors did a blackout on Reddit. So I'm guessing this happened, like there was a blackout on Reddit and it didn't change anything. Because one of the earlier comments said that, and I guess that was just sarcasm, like, yeah, I didn't do shit. So, I don't have Reddit. Just very rare do I even come on Reddit like this just to read comments. It'll be worse because the mods at least had the power to force people off it and artificially prop up their numbers. This boycott can't even do that. 250,700 pledge to Blackout. Only 351 do it. That's funny. Yeah. So, yeah, 250,000, which is really not that much. That's not a lot of people to begin with. But what he says here is funny. Only 351 will do it. That's hilarious. Have we seen any hint yet that Sony is the least bit concerned about any of the backlash? The only thing that will matter is if you leave the platform. That you are still trying to get them to change just demonstrates to them how trapped you are. Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's a very good point. If you are not willing to leave, they have nothing to fear. Exactly. That's exactly what I am saying. You have to just leave PlayStation for good. That's the only way you're going to send a message, okay? If all you do is, I'm not going to turn on the PlayStation, not going to play it for a week. And then you're saying, it's for a week. So you're giving a date. You're letting them know you're coming back in a week. Why would they be worried about that, That's not going to do anything. But without announcing it, simply just sell, you could probably let people know. But yeah, sell your PlayStation 5 and just get the Nintendo Switch 2. There you go. Just cancel PlayStation from your life altogether, and then join the Nintendo ecosystem, and that's really what's gonna scare them. Especially because they know that most people who leave PlayStation to go to Nintendo never come back once they realize just how much better it is. Considering they literally said planned and did their homework on what would happen after announcing this, no. They're not concerned at all. Yeah, exactly. Combine that with all the numbers they have on physical digital purchases. They did not make this decision lightly in the first place. To reiterate, they have the sales numbers. They aren't going off of estimates as pulled numbers like what we see here on Reddit. They have actual numbers from their own PSN store and from their disc printing factories, especially since they're the only ones who print PS5 discs. They have the full picture. No, as usual, Reddit thinks everyone agrees with them and that the backlash is huge. The blackout, like every other Reddit protest, will be a few thousand at most. Y'all remember when we re-released Morbius because social media was really vocal? Good luck with this one. Sony, probably. This comment would have been perfect when all those people logged back into Destiny 2 to try and convince Sony to keep it going. Oh brother, a week long? Yeah, that will totally show them. Yeah, right? These things only work if you stop playing on the platform and stop buying indefinitely. This is why protests and limited time boycotts never work, because the only thing that's going to instigate change is the money in their pockets. Unless mass amounts of people actually give up on the PS5, they will do nothing. Yeah, again, that's, it blows my mind how the idiots behind this boycott, blackout, it's not even a boycott, it's just a blackout, how they actually think this is going to actually do anything, And it's because I think it's really just they're the most stubborn of PlayStation fangirls. They don't want to come to terms with the fact that PlayStation sucks. It's not a system worth owning. And so they're just like, hey, we don't like the fact that they're getting rid of physical media. There's all this bad news. They probably notice PlayStation fans leaving. They probably see all the comments of PlayStation fans, selling their PS5 to get a Switch 2 instead. So now they're just like, we gotta send a message to PlayStation so they can reverse course. That's what this feels like. Because if you truly love physical media and if you really want to send a message, 1 week blackout is not going to do it at all. It's not going to do a damn thing. You have to just stop buying their stuff. Period. Anyone remember when Redditors did a blackout or Netflix boycott due to password sharing cut? Let's see. If you want some quick laughs, just save a bunch of comments saying, I'm not buying a PS6, etc. Then look at their profile around November when GTA 6 comes out. Probably 80% of the people would be talking about playing the game. Let's see. I did that for the Reddit blackout with people saying they'll stop using Reddit after a certain date if changes weren't reverted, and lo and behold, majority of those commenters are still here. LOL. Yeah, I can't stand people like that. I can't stand these stupid ass people say, I'm gonna give up on this if this happens, but then it's like they don't, and then they have like a really lame excuse for why they didn't. Like it kind of reminds me of this loser from a job I worked at. He was like a hardcore WWE fan. I had quit watching WWE because it just kept getting stupid and more stupid, and they were pissing me off. They were burying certain wrestlers that I liked, pushing wrestlers that I hated, like CM Punk. But this loser, this guy, he was such a fucking loser. He was like, it was when Ronda Rousey was headlining or the main event of WrestleMania. And that was after she had gotten her ass whooped, I think, twice in the UFC, and everybody celebrated because people hated her because she's a dumbass. She was a Bernie Sanders supporter. She was a fucking stupid-ass feminist who kept talking about how she could beat up men and how tough she is. And you had idiots like Joe Rogan saying she could beat up half the fighters in the UFC, like half the men who are in the lower weight class, some dumb shit like that. We all fucking hated her. We couldn't stand her stupid bitch face. The whole world hated her, but the stupid ass WWE decided to bring her in and make her a huge star and even put her over. But prior to that happening, this loser that I was working with at the time, he said if she ends up winning or something or whatever, or she becomes a female champion or whatever, I'm going to quit watching WWE for good. Well, guess what? That happened, right? But this fucking loser was like, he came back and was saying he was talking about how he actually enjoyed it. He enjoyed WrestleMania, I guess because he went to go see it or he bought it on pay-per-view. I can't remember. But yeah, this fucking loser. And I'm like, oh, so you just changed your mind? And he's like, oh, well, the way they did it was really good or something like that. I'm like, dude, you're a fucking loser, dude. You're a straight up fucking loser. You went from saying you were going to stop watching WWE if Ronda Rousey wins to then, pretending like it was the best event you'd ever seen or whatever. Fucking idiot. Anyways, that's a little story I just wanted to share with you guys. I hate people like that. I hate people who say they're going to boycott, they're going to do this, if that happens, whatever. And then when it happens, there's like, oh, they either just say, whatever, it is what it is, and they just continue. Like, they're just not a man of their word. They're not they can't, stand by their word, Fuck those kinds of people. Once GTA 6 releases, everyone will suddenly not care anymore. Yep. As a matter of fact, the fact that nobody decided to, boycott GTA 6, oh man, shows how fucking pathetic people are in this world. Anyways, I think this is the last comment. I'd probably have to sign up for Reddit to get the rest of them or to get all of them, but I just wanted to share that with you guys, this whole thing going on with the blackout, people wanting to do a blackout, whatever. It's a joke. It's not going to work. It's not going to do anything. You have an end date. It's only 1 week. And it makes me wonder if the people who are doing this or who are calling for this blackout are just typical PlayStation fangirls. They don't want people to leave PlayStation and go to Nintendo. See, if they truly cared, again, they would say, hey, just stop buying PlayStation. In fact, go buy Nintendo. They're not going to say that because they know that if people do go to Nintendo, they're not coming back. They're not going to have any desire to come back to PlayStation because the ecosystem of Nintendo is far greater. We have great games coming out every single month. We just got Star Fox, Splatoon Raiders, the highest rated game of the year, like 93 or whatever. It's really up there. We got so many great games right now to play on that system. The ecosystem's much better. The online services is much better. It's more affordable. There's the accessibility of it, the many different ways you can play. You can take the two Joy-Cons and use each one as a controller. You can take it with you everywhere to go. There's so many reasons to not even bother with the PlayStation, especially if you have a Nintendo Switch or a Nintendo Switch 2. And so the people behind this lame blackout, they're not going to say what needs to be said. They're not going to say, oh, just, sell your PlayStation 5, get a Switch 2 instead. They're not going to say that. And they're not going to say that because they know damn well that those people will never come back to PlayStation, even if PlayStation reverses course and says, hey, we're going to continue with physical media. It's not going to be an all-digital future anymore. We changed our mind. You're going to get physical games for your PlayStation 6. Nope, they're not going to do that. They're not going to do that. Instead, it's just going to be, oh, well, let's just black out. Let's have a blackout for 1 week, guys. Let's have a blackout for a few weeks, and that's it. But if they were honest, they'd say, hey, just stop buying PlayStation, period, and get a Switch 2. Get Nintendo instead. But they know what's going to happen if they do that. So, anyways, yeah, that's going to be it for this video, guys. Very interesting stuff here. You guys should definitely check out my video. I'm sure most of you have already seen it now, but my video about PlayStation fans buying a Switch 2, you look at the comment section. Just scroll through the comment section and try to count as many comments you can that is of somebody saying that they sold their PS5 and they bought a Switch 2. Like, there's so many. There's got to be hundreds already that I've seen. Hundreds of people saying, yeah, sold my PlayStation 5, bought a Switch 2. Best decision I ever made. So that's going to be the only way to send a message to PlayStation, and that's a powerful message because it's basically you telling them you're not coming back. Anyways, you guys let me know what you think of this in the comments below. If you're a PlayStation fan and you still got your PS5 or whatever, what do you think of this blackout? Do you think it's going to do anything? Do you plan on selling your PS5 for a Nintendo Switch 2? Have you already done that? Or have you already bought a Nintendo Switch 2 and still have your PS5 in hopes that things will change, but but may not. I don't know. You guys let me know in the comments below, and I'll talk to each and every single one of you guys later.